Hello. Yeah, shall we start the session? Okay. Good evening to all. I'm Suma from Tally Solutions. So today I'm going to take you through the webinar of TDS, which is known as tax deducted at source. Is it audible to all? Participants, please reply through chat. I'm not receiving any reply from the participants. Is it audible to all? Hello. Is it audible to all? Participants, please reply through chat. Okay. Good evening to all participants. I'm Suma here from Tally Solutions. Today I'm going to take you through the subject of TDS, which is known as tax deducted at source. Webinar is one-way audio communication to mention, and you will be able to listen my voice and see the presentation and demo on your computer. During the presentation, if you have any queries and doubts or clarification, please write through chat. And also at the end of the session, we will be having a question and answer session where you can share your questions and we can clarify all your doubts. So shall we proceed? Participants, please reply through chat so that I can proceed further. In today's session, we'll discuss about tax deducted at source, which is shortly known as TDS. So TDS is one of the source. Tax deducted at source is one of the method of collecting tax by the government, and it is introduced with the objective to channelize the tax payments by deducting at source. TDS is deducted at a prescribed rate. I'm unable to miss from Parimala. What is the problem? One of the participants is having a problem. What connection is not happening, Parimala? So once again, I'm going to start because some participants are facing some problem, due to which I'm restarting it again. TDS, tax deduction at source, is one of the method of collecting tax by the government, and it is introduced with the objective to channelize the tax payments by deducting at source. TDS is deducted at a prescribed rate by the person responsible for making the payment. So, today we'll discuss completely about tax deduction at source. Today's agenda is what is TDS, why TDS is introduced, when TDS will be deducted, who should deduct TDS, what is PAN, what is TAN, TDS applicability, list of TDS nature of payment, challan and e-returns, due dates for the payment and returns. So we'll discuss about these features in today's session. And what is TDS? TDS means tax deducted at source. The concept of TDS is introduced in the Income Tax Act of 1961 with the objective of deducting the tax on an income at the source of income. It is one of the methods of collecting income tax which ensures the regular flow of income to the government. So, TDS is deducted at the source of income and which ensures the regular flow of income to the government. So, why TDS is introduced? TDS is introduced because to ensure the regular flow of the revenue to the government, collect tax in advance, collection of tax in advance in case if the advance collection is happening, then TDS has to be deducted at the payment. So, easy administration of tax collection. So, and when TDS will be deducted, TDS has to be deducted at the time of payment or at the time of crediting pay's account, whichever is earlier. So, we have an example where Universal Infotech is making the payment towards rent to the owner of the building or booking the rent expenses. It is required to deduct the tax on rent, that is at the source of income. So, Universal Infotech is making the payment towards rent to the building owner because Universal Infotech people are staying in building, using the building premises. For using the building premises, they are paying the rent to the building owner, or they are booking in case if they are booking the expenses of rent in their books of accounts, then it is required to deduct TDS on rent. So, that is called at the source of income. Who should deduct TDS? Deductors should deduct TDS. So, following are the deducting type details are listed here in this particular slide. So, individual and Hindu undivided family, which is covered under 44AB, business of rupees 40 lakh and profession 10 lakh rupees. So, body of individual, association of person, cooperative society, local authority, partnership firm, company which stands for Indian company, foreign company and artificial judicial person. So, these deductive types are eligible for deducting TDS. So, what is PAN? What is PAN? PAN is known as Permanent Account Number. Permanent Account Number is a unique 10-digit alphanumeric number issued by the Income Tax Department. So, the primary purpose of PAN number is to bring the universal identification for all the financial transactions. As per the section 206AA from April 1st, 2010 onwards, all deductee has to provide their PAN card details to avoid the TDS deduction on the highest rates. So, that is, if the deductee does not have the PAN number, then TDS will be deducted at 20%. So, this means, as per the section 206AA, from April 1st, 2010 onwards, all deductee has to provide their PAN number. Okay, if they provide PAN number, then TDS deduction on highest rate, they can avoid TDS deduction on highest rates. So, only whatever the TDS nature of payment and deductive type they have selected, based on that TDS deduction will happen. So, on non-availability of PAN number, TDS at the rate of 20% deduction is going to happen. It should deduct TDS at the rate of 20%. And the PAN number format will be, PAN number is of 10-digit number. First 4 characters are alpha, next 4 characters are numeric, and last one is alpha. So what is TAN? TAN is known as tax deduction account number. TAN is 10-digit alphanumeric number. This number has quoted by the deductor in every corresponding related to TDS. So TAN number format is first 4 characters are alpha, next 5 characters are numeric, and last character, that is alphabetic. TDS applicability. We'll see on what basis TDS is applicable. So TDS applicability is there based on the type of deducting which is selected and nature of payment which is happening. It may be advertisement, it may be interest other than interest on securities, it may be commission or brokerage. Their nature varies, and exemption limit specified in the Income Tax Act. So based on these, TDS applicability and TDS deduction will happen. Is this clear to all? Okay, we'll go to next slide. So we saw the TDS applicability. TDS applicability will be based on TDS type of deductive which is selected and nature of payment and exemption limits specified in the Act. So we'll see what are the TDS nature of payments are there. So nature of payments are commission and brokerage, as I said earlier. Fees for professional or technical services, payment to contractors and subcontractors, insurance commission, interest on securities, rent of land, building or furniture, payment to sportsmen or sports association. Is it clear now? Jignesh, is it clear now? You're saying you're facing some difficulty and some echo voice is there. Is it clear now? Okay. Interest on securities, rent of land, building or furniture, payment to sportsmen or sports association. Yeah, everyone are saying it is clear. So I'm repeating this slide once again. I'm repeating this slide contents once again. Nature of payment. So we'll see the various TDS nature of payments. Commission or brokerage, fees for professional and technical services, payment to contractors and subcontractors, insurance commission, interest on securities, rent of land, building or furniture, payment to sportsmen or sports association, payment to other sum to a non-resident, winning from lottery or crossword puzzles, and etc. So here I have taken an example of rent. So we'll see rent is the respective TDS nature rent section is 194I. So who is deductor? The person who is paying rent is the deductor, and who is deducting the owner of the premises is deducting when TDS has to be deducted at the time of payment or at the time of crediting party, whichever is earlier, as we discussed earlier. Exemption limit of rent is 1,80,000. So rate of TDS, rent one plant of machinery or equipment, the rate of TDS is 2%. Rent of land, building or furniture, it is at the rate of 10%. The person who is, okay, And here we'll see the chart. TDS on rent. Payment for the use of machinery, plant and equipment will be at the rate of 2%. Payment for the use of any other assets like land, car, etc. for the TDS at the rate of 10% is applicable. So, we'll see what are the returns and challans are available with respect to TDS. So, TDS IP NS 281 challan is available in Tally.ERP 9, and ETDS return has to be filed by the individual, 26Q for the resident and 27Q for non-resident, and Form 27A is a covering letter, Form 16A is a certificate. So, TDS certificate. What is TDS certificate? TDS certificate is a proof that director has deducted the tax and paid the same amount to government. And this proof is essential to the deductee to claim the credit of tax in his income tax returns. So, types of TDS certificates. We have two types of TDS certificates. One is other than salary in India. So, apart from other than salary, we have salary TDS. So, today in this session, we are discussing about TDS on salary, TDS other than salary. In TDS other than salary, in case of other than salary, the certificate should be issued in the form of 16A containing the tax deducted and paid details. A separate certificate should be prepared for each nature of payment, and this refers to the details submitted to the government by filing the e-return, that is Form 26Q or 27Q. Salary related ETDS, in case of salaries, the certificate should be issued in the form of Form 16 containing the tax computation details and the tax deducted and paid details, and this refers to the details submitted over Form 24Q. So, for TDS, it is Form 16A, and filing e-return has to be done for Form 26Q for resident, Form 27Q for non-resident. And salary, in case of salary TDS, Form 16 is applicable, and for Form 16, we have to file ETDS return for Form 24Q. Is this clear? So, ETDS returns. ETDS returns are mandatory now for every deductor to furnish their TDS returns in the electronic form. So, ETDS return applicable from Source Scheme 2003. So, now all users has to file ETDS return using NSDL department provided file validation utility tool, and using the tool, file generation will happen. So, whatever file generated during the process of validation, those files need to be submitted to the respective income tax department. And now we'll discuss on Form 27A. Form 27A is a covering letter for ETDS return. So, Form 27A is a control chart which has to be furnished in physical form along with the CD or pen drive containing the ETDS returns exported from the software. Form 27A is the summary of ETDS returns, which contains the control total of amount paid and income tax deducted at source. The control total mentioned in Form 27A should match with the corresponding control total in ETDS return. So, both has to match. Control total mentioned in Form 27A should match with corresponding control totals in a TDS return. Both the returns have to be matched. So, now we'll see the complete TDS flow chart. Here what is happening? Deductee. Deductee is the seller. Deductee is the seller providing the services and bills to deductor, that is to buyer. And bill number here we have mentioned amount of rupees 50,000. So, deductee seller is issuing 50,000 rupees to deductor. So, the deductor is a buyer, received 50,000 from the seller, and he is deducting the TDS amount. Deductor is making the payment to deductee after deducting the TDS. So whatever amount he received, so he is making the payment by deducting the TDS. So deductor remitting buyer is remitting the TDS amount deducted to bank treasury, and TDS amount whatever remitted to bank is of rupees 5,665 through Challan ITNS. So bank treasury will receive whatever amount deducted by the buyer. So next, bank treasury will remit the same amount to government, and he will file the bank treasury will submit the 5,665 rupees details to Income Tax Department. And here, what is happening is, the deductee filing the return to the IT department, the deductee filing the whatever amount is deducted, they are issuing Form 16A and issuing the amount details of 5,665 TDS amount details in this Form 16A to the Income Tax Department. And here what happens is, deductor is a buyer. What he will do, deductor is filing the ETDS return using NSDL, and whatever amount they have deducted, 5,665, that will go to NSDL. And NSDL people are submitting the same, uploading the information to IT department, and deductee and TDS details of whatever TDS deducted, that the information goes to Income Tax Department. And here what is happening is, deductee files a return of rupees. Here, deductee files a return stating that he received Form 16A by the buyer, and for which TDS is deducted, and also this buyer details is already gone to Income Tax Department, and here seller information also reaches to Income Tax Department, and both the amount whatever TDS is deducted are matching with the Income Tax Department. Is this clear? Shall I proceed further? And we'll discuss on due dates. So, TDS payments happens always on 7th of succeeding month. ETDS return of quarter 1, that is 1st of April to 30th June, has to be submitted on or before 15th July. Quarter 2, 1st July to 30th September. So, on or before 15th October has to be filed. Quarter 3, 1st October to 31st December, return has to be submitted for Q3 is on or before January 15th. And quarter 4, 1st January to 31st March, return has to be filed on or before 15th May. So, TDS will walk through Tally.ERP 9 and will enable the TDS in Tally.ERP 9 and will create various masters, transactions, and will see the reports. So I have installed Tally.ERP 9. Release 4.91 is the latest release. Same, I have installed my system. So now what I'm doing is I'm creating a company. So I'm giving today's date in the place of name of company, and here in mailing address I'm giving Rashmi Infotech, and I'm providing my company address. So I have given all the information. See, in the first line I have provided my number, then building name, cross, lane, and area, then then the area and the district, city. So I'm providing all the information and I'm accepting this particular window. So company creation is done. Company creation is done, and from gateway of Tally, accounts info, we are choosing quick setup option, and here we have an option called tax deducted at source, and here you can see only company TDS details option is highlighted. Other master setup option is hidden. So, company TDS details has to be provided first. Company income tax registration details like tax deduction and collection account number, permanent account number, that is PAN number, circle ward, and deductee type, authorized signatory, and his designation. And these details has to be used, whatever details we are feeding and feeding in this particular window, same will be reflected in your ITNS Challan 281, as well as your forms, as well as in your returns. So here I am selecting company TDS details. So company TDS details, I am providing my PAN number. PAN number is of 10 digit. So first 4 characters are alphabetic, 5 characters are numeric, and 1 character is alpha. So now I am providing my income tax PAN number. So valid PAN details, I am quoting that. So this is my PAN number of the company, and circle 1 I am stating, and here deductive type I am selecting as others here, because it asks if it is a government. The list of company type is, if it is a government organization, need to select as government. If it is a private sector, then it should be grouped under others. And this is not a proprietorship firm. And person responsible for, I am mentioning my name. I am furnishing my information. So this is done. Once after providing company TDS details. So now you can see it displays like this. Company TDS, here note is available. Company income tax registration details like tax deduction and collection account number, permanent account number, circle, ward, deductive type, authorized person, signatory, and as designation. These information will be used in challan forms and returns. And as like that, tax deduction and collection account number is this. Head office PAN number is empty, not provided, and permanent account number of the company is this. So this information, whatever we feed it, same is reflecting here. Now what we'll do, we'll create an expense ledger. So I'm creating an expense ledger. Expenses ledger under indirect expense. Is TDS applicable? I'm enabling it, and I'm selecting TDS nature of payment as any. So now again I'm creating one more ledger as commission, indirect expenses, and here I'm selecting respective TDS nature, commission, TDS, commission or brokerage. And I'm selecting one more, I'm creating one more ledger as rent. Rent of land and building or furniture. I'm saving it. So 3 expense ledgers are created. And here you can see the expenses for which tax to be deducted has to be configured in the expense ledger by selecting the relevant TDS nature of payment, so that tax will be deducted appropriately. So we have created 3 ledgers. One is has expenses, another one rent, and commission ledger. So 3 of 3 are configured. And here tax ledger, it shows count as 00, not configured. So to account the tax liability and remitting to the government, create TDS tax ledger and select the relevant nature of payment, and you can also create a common tax ledger for all TDS nature of payment by selecting TDS nature as any. So party ledger is also not configured, because of that it is not showing the details. So what I'll do, I will select tax ledger, TDS on commission. Under duties and taxes, here I will select commission or brokerage. This is done. Another one, this is common ledger, TDS common, under duties and taxes, here I am quoting as ME. So two tax ledgers are created. So now I am going to party ledger master creation. Here I am creating party as party with PAN, sundry credit as is TDS applicable, I am enabling it. I am selecting company resident in this particular party ledger master and I am providing PAN number. In case if you are specifying wrong PAN details, if the characters are mismatching, then you will get a message as invalid PAN structure and format should be 5 alpha, 4 numeric and 1 alpha. This error message you will get in case if you quote wrong PAN number. Wrong order of PAN number if you quote in the party ledger master, that time you will get this error message. So now I am providing the proper information. One party is done. Another party ledger master I am creating. Party without PAN. This is also individual HUF resident. And here I am not specifying any. Here I am mentioning, here PAN number is not there for this party. So what I will do, I will write a note, PAN NOT AVBL. PAN not available. Okay, this is done. So before going to transaction level, just we discussed on the concepts and the details of the company master and how we have to create company master and what are the ledgers we need to create. Those things we discussed, and a few minutes back I have created company. I have created set of expenses ledger, TDS ledger and party ledgers. Before going to transaction level, one important thing I want to share to you. From Gateway of Tally, we have one menu called Display Statutory Info. Okay. Here we have two options under Statutory Info. One is TDS nature of payment, other one is deducting type. In case if we select TDS nature of payment, here it will list all the TDS nature of payment which is existing now. So, for example, I will select one TDS nature of payment. So, here payment to contractors other than advertisement, TDS nature of payment I am selecting. And for this particular TDS nature of payment, full name, abbreviation, what is expected by the department is given completely. Payment to contractors other than advertisement is given. And it falls under section 194C. Payment code of this section is 194C. And single bill value limit of 20,000. 20,000 is, this is prior to 1st of July 2010. But 1st of July 2010 onwards, department has modified the single bill value limit as rupees 30,000. And the section name, it says as contractors and subcontractors. So, this is TDS nature of payments and deductive type. We have a speciality, like if we click on this deductive type, it will list out all our deductive details. So what I'll do, I'll go for company resident. Anyhow, we have created party ledger master by selecting company resident. Because of that, I'm selecting this. Company resident. Company resident, residential status, deductive status has a company, and whether he is active or inactive, the details and module, let us both the types. Residential and deductive type. Company resident, it will show as a both. So here, whatever earlier TDS nature of payment I showed you, same information is displayed under this deductive TDS details. So here what we can see is, we'll take an example of rent. Commission or brokerage. and commission or brokerage is a TDS nature. And for this, after 1st of July 2010, TDS at the rate of 10% is applicable and exemption limit amount is rupees 5,000. If it crossing the exemption limit, then TDS deduction happens. If exemption limit of 5,000 rupees is not happening, then TDS deduction will not happen. Say suppose I am booking the expenses for rupees 1,500, which is below exemption limit. Exemption limit is my commission exemption limit is 5,000 rupees. So where I am booking the expenses for rupees 1,500, so that time TDS deduction will not happen. In case if I am booking the expenses for rupees 5,001 or more than 5,000 rupees, then TDS calculation at the rate of 10% happens. Is this clear to all participants? Is this clear to all? Shall we proceed further? Any doubts? Please inform in case if you require any clarification or doubts in between so that I can explain you there then and there. Shall I proceed further? Is any participant is having doubt? Miss Kamala is asking a query as, can we configure two different TDS nature for one party? For one party, two different TDS nature is not possible. TDS nature is not applicable for party. For one party, one deductive type should be there. You cannot select two deductive types. TDS nature will not be there for party. In case if you want, you can see accounts info, ledger, alter, and here what I'll do, I will select the party ledger which I have created. So here it will ask for deductive type, not for the TDS nature of payment. Is this clear, Ms. Kamala? Yeah. Kamala replied has thanks and her doubt is clear now. And Ms. Parimala is having a query. Can we pay one single payment to different parties? Payment to different parties in the sense, is it you're making payment at one shot to all the parties or how exactly? So party payment you make it separately. Better you make it separately because you are booking the expenses and you are making payment to party. So payment of party, while making the payment, what you will do, you will select the bank or bank ledger, then your party ledger. If it is single nature of payment. So your query is not clear, Ms. Parimala. So we'll go for transaction level, then you will come to know better. So shall we proceed? So we have created the ledger master. Now we'll record transactions. So what I will do is I will record one normal TDS booking entry. So I'm going to accounting vouchers. F7. Journal voucher. Here I'm booking the expenses. Booking expenses for rupees 15,000. First we'll do one thing. 35,000. So here I will select payment to contractors other than advertisement. Party with PAN. So I will accept this particular entry. So as I showed you earlier, for payment to contractors other than advertisement, single bill value limit is 30,000. So it is crossing 30,000. So in this particular voucher, I have debited with rupees 35,000. Because of that, TDS deduction is happening. In case, if at all, if I mention below the amount, like I'm debiting the expenses, I'm providing rupees 20,000. Payment to contractors other than advertisement, I'm selecting here. So I'm selecting party with PAN, and here you can see the difference. So in earlier transaction we have debited with rupees 35,000, which was crossing exemption limit. So because of that, TDS deduction was happening. But in this transaction, that is below 30,000, that is 20,000 I have debited here. So on 20,000, TDS deduction is not happening. So I'm saving this particular entry. Once after recording this particular transaction, we'll see how TDS computation looks like. So whenever I record a transaction, new transaction, I'll explain you about the TDS computation part. Please please observe it. So here I have booked expenses. I have not deducted TDS. It is under exemption. Because of that, the amount is coming under exemption limit. So exemption limit is 20,000. Now I'm again debiting the commission expenses for rupees 8,000. So for commission, 5,000 is the exemption limit. Here I'm booking for 8,000 rupees. So party with PAN, I'm selecting. So TDS at the rate of 10% deduction is happening. So I will accept this entry. And also you can see the beauty of software. Once after crediting the party ledger master, you will get TDS detail screen. And in the TDS detail screen, you will get the bifurcation of type of reference, name, nature of payment, TDS duty ledger, accessible value, and deduct now, TDS amount and TDS payable amount information. And once after accepting this window, we'll get the bifurcation of bill-wise detail screen where it shows the complete information. So I'll quit it because I have went back. Because of that, so again I'm booking expenses for commission 8,000. Party with PAN. So here deduction is happening. Here you can see bill-wise detail screen of the party with PAN ledger. It says up to rupees 7,200 is a credit balance, whereas I have 8,000 rupees as a credit balance and remaining 800 rupees is my debit balance. So that bifurcation will help you to get proper, accurate, outstanding report. So that entry is done. Once after recording that entry, I am taking to TDS computation report, and here you can notice the amount got added here. Expenses and advances 20,000 plus 8,000, it shows 28,000. TDS 800 rupees, and here taxable expenses and advances it shows as rupees 8,000. Okay, 8,800 rupees. So here what I'll do, I will record one entry as rent for 2 lakh rupees. Rent of land and building furniture, because for rent exemption limit is 1,80,000. Because of that I have taken 2 lakh rupees in this particular entry. Party without PAN. I am selecting different party here. Party without PAN. PAN number is not quoted to this party. So once after crediting this party, I am selecting new reference. Rent of TDS building or furniture and common TDS ledger, it is displaying now, and accessible value is 2 lakh rupees, and here it shows a message, TDS rate at the rate of 20% / whichever is applicable, PAN is not furnished from 1st of April 2010, so 20% TDS deduction is going to happen. Based on that, 20% deduction is happening here. Is this clear? So now we have done 3 transactions. So once after recording rent expenses transaction, we'll go to computation report. And you can see the same amount got added here as expenses and advances. So we'll see not applicable scenario. So not applicable scenario comes like this. See, I'm debiting the expenses, changing the period, expenses of 80,000 rupees, where I'm paying not applicable for 10,000. So remaining I'm selecting as payment to contractors other than advertisement. So this means I'm debiting expenses for 80,000, of which 10,000 is not applicable, and remaining 70,000. On 70,000 TDS deduction has to happen. So 70,000 I have selected. Party with PAN I am selecting. The new reference, and here payment to contractors other than advertisement I am getting here. TDS common ledger. Deduct now option is enabled. So I am accepting this particular entry. Remaining new reference, here not applicable. Once after selecting the not applicable, it takes accessible value has 10,000 automatically. And here you can see the note. The breakup of the above bill helps to identify the original bill amount in the outstanding statement. So here I will select new reference. I am accepting this entry, and it shows amount has 80,000 and TDS deducted of rupees 1,400. So I am saving this particular entry. Now it shows a pop-up. I think all are you are remembering now, right? We booked one expenses entry for rupees 20,000 where TDS deduction has not happened. So because of that, it is showing an alert as TDS is not deducted for the previous bills. So do you want to deduct now? So I am saying yes. So in this particular entry, TDS deduction is also happening. On 20,400 rupees TDS deduction is happening. I am saving this particular entry. So now all the transactions are done. Once after recording this transaction, computation report, see you can observe that 20,000 under exemption limit has gone. Now we deducted TDS, and here it shows not applicable has rupees 10,000. So remaining is 0 rated. So we'll see 0 rated and PAN exemption how it works. will create one ledger as transporter. Under sundry creditors, and in this particular ledger, I am enabling TDS. I am selecting company residence in this. So here I am furnishing PAN number. So once after furnishing PAN number, I am accepting the ledger. So what I'll do, I will book one expenses entry. Expenses entry for rupees 40,000. So here I will select payment to transporters. Payment to transporters 40,000. PAN number is furnished in the party account. So if PAN number is furnished in the party account for transporter, 0% of TDS deduction happens. And if the non-availability of PAN number, 20% TDS deduction happens. Here I am selecting payment to transporters, assessable value 40,000, and I am accepting this, and you can see expenses debited. Now I am selecting transporter ledger, new reference, payment to transporter, common. So here you can observe for a transporter, if you furnish PAN number in the party ledger, TDS deduction will not happen according to the Income Tax Act rules. So according to latest income tax amendment, so latest in the sense it is applicable from 1st of April 2010. During that year only department published the information, and they have specified as if the PAN availability is there for the transporter ledger, then 0% has to be deducted. On non-availability of PAN number, 20% deduction is going to happen. So now I am accepting this particular entry. This is done. We'll go for computation report. That 40,000 displays here. So I will book one more expenses entry. For rupees 25,000. I will select payment to contractors other than advertisement. Party with PAN. Because my 75,000 annual exemption limit is crossing. According to this ledger master, it shows 1,65,000. So it is crossing it is crossing another exemption. As I explained you earlier, for payment to contractors other than advertisement, it is a single bill value limit is 30,000 and annual exemption limit is 75,000. So 75,000 here you can see the current balance, it is 1,65,000. So it's crossing the 75,000. Because of that, TDS deduction is happening in this particular entry. Am I clear? Is this clear to all? Yeah, I will show that scenario too. So this is done with respect to this entry. I'm not saving it. I'm escaping it. So what we'll do now? We will record payment transaction. So here 7th of May 2014. So here all test option is available in the single entry mode. All test, start payment, TDS I'm selecting, autofill statutory payment I'm enabling it, and it will ask for the bills which is recorded. I can mention the till date. Till date I'm giving here as 30th April 2014. So it shows section because I have three different TDS nature of payments. Based on TDS nature of payment only I have to make payment, or else challan will not display the proper information. So here what I am doing is payment to subcontractors I am selecting. Payment to subcontractors nature is payment to contractors other than advertisement company. And here I am creating one more ledger as HDFC bank ledger under bank account, and shutter alter bank details. It is taking few minutes. This window is not required. My mistake, I have enabled it. I am disabling it now. So here I am providing my account number. Account holder name, I am giving my name. Branch. DSR code is of 7 digits. In case if at all if you are not quoting 7 digits of DSR code, it will show a message. You can observe now. DSR code should contain 7 numeric characters, which is not there in this. So I am giving it IFSC code. IFSC code is not required. I am accepting this particular thing. So now I am selecting the bank ledger. I am enabling this provide details option. Once after enabling the provide details option, we will get this particular TDS payment details screen. Here from date, we need to mention quarterly period here. Here we have a note. In our product, we have provided the note in the bracket to specify the user. We are stating the user to mention quarterly period because quarterly TDS return filing is happening. The payment should be on quarterly basis. So 1st of April 2014 to 30th June 2014 and 194C. Okay, and here check and DD number it is asking. I am mentioning some number. So 7th May 2014, and here I am selecting the bank. Once after selecting the bank, I am getting this information in the transaction level 7th May 2014, and I am accepting this particular entry. Once after accepting this entry, again I am selecting the same transaction, Alt P, And here print TDS challan option is available. So I am enabling this challan option, all type with print preview. So I am checking the preview. So 194C, that is 94C, type of payment. Here you can see it will display the information as tax TDS tax challan, challan number ITNS 281, assessment year to 2015 and 16. My company PAN number it displays, company name Rashmi Imported, and it shows my address, details, phone number, everything. As I showed you earlier, the same information will be taken in this challan. And tax payable by the transporter, taxpayer. So it is here tick mark is that 1,800 rupees of tax, and this entry is done. Rashmi Imported, and these informations are feeded. So challan is complete now. And here bank has to seal it. Bank has to punch the bank seal here. The space is available. Okay. This is done. Payment is done. So I am making another payment transaction. TDS, autofill TDS deduction here. Unknown. Commission and brokerage I am selecting. Company HDFC Bank. Provide details. I need to provide quarterly period here. 7/5/2014. Bank details I am selecting. Once after selecting I am getting the information. So 7/5/2014. This is done. I am saving it. So once after saving it, again I am going for all. I am viewing it. See here, commission on brokerage 194H. Section wise payment. Section code wise payment is happening. So here TDS nature will not display. And one more payment is pending. Let me finish that. 194I rent non-company. 7 May 2014. HDFC Bank. So for rent, it shows 94I as per the new section changes. So 3 payment transactions are completely done. Now what I'll do, 20th of April 2014, I'm recording one payment transaction where I'm selecting my bank ledger, I'm selecting my party ledger, I'm providing the amount of rupees 80,000 here. So here I'm going for advance ADV01. Okay, advance TDS reference, that is 80,000 rupees. And here I'm selecting my TDS common ledger. Once after selecting the TDS common ledger, I will get TDS detail screen. Here I'm selecting my type of reference, payment type, and nature of payment. So here interest other than interest on securities I'm selecting. For that 10% income tax deduction is happening. I'm saving it. So this deduction is happening in the payment voucher. Now whatever amount I deducted as advance, so same amount I should make payment to department. So that payment is not done. That advance payment details is here 80,000 rupees. So what I'll do, I will mention the period as 7th May 2014. All times. Enter. So we have done advance TDS payment. So what I'll do is 30th April, TDS other than interest on security, HDFC Bank, providing it. 7th May 2014, bank, seven five. I'm saving this. We'll get information 9048, 8,000 rupees. This information will be displayed here. Now, based on computation, whatever options are relevant, based on this, we have recorded the transactions. So, we'll see other aspects too. Accounts info, ledger, alter. Here, what I'm selecting is, I will create one more party as Suma under Sundry Creditors for your better understanding. Here, I'm enabling is TDS deductible option as yes, and here I am selecting individual HUF resident. So once after selecting individual HUF resident, what I'll do, we have F12 function key here. So in this ledger configuration screen, we have option called allow advanced entries in TDS Master. I'm enabling this option and I'm providing the PAN number. This is done. Now I'm booking the expenses. Booking the expenses. I'm creating a ledger called advertisement. Payment to contractors other than advertisement I'm selecting. This is done. So here what I did is, I have created two new ledgers. One is Suma ledger. Suma ledger, in this particular thing, once after enabling this allow advanced entries in TDS Master option, we'll get this new option below, use advanced TDS entries. I'm enabling this. Once after enabling, we'll get this particular window. So surcharges not applicable, because of that ignore surcharge exemption limit option. No need to enable it. Alter ignore income tax exemption limit. See, why I have created new party ledger master and new expense ledger master is to make you understand. Because previously, few minutes back, while explaining about payment to contractors other than as advertisement, I conveyed you as single bill value limit is 30,000 and annual exemption limit is 75,000. So that exemption limit is there. So whatever income tax exemption limit is there, that you are ignoring, in the sense, you enable this option, accept it, then it will ask for TDS nature of payment, select it and accept this particular entry. Once after accepting this particular entry, then you come to booking entry. Here you will book expenses for rupees 12,000. So, payment to contractors other than advertisement 12,000, and I am selecting Suma party, where I have ignored income tax exemption limit, which is given by the department. So, as I have ignored, as I have selected individual HUF resident in my party ledger master, it is deducting 1%. If it is company resident, then 2% TDS deduction happens. As it is a HUF resident TDS entry, so 1% TDS deduction is happening. I am accepting this particular entry. Once after accepting this, I am taking you to TDS competition report. So here you can see 40,000 rupees it will show. Higher rate of TDS. Lower rate it will show as 10,720. And here, because lower rate 12,000, TDS deducted at the rate of 120. And we have another 0 rated. So under exemption limit I have guided you now. In overriding income tax exemption limit I have guided you now. Under exemption we have already discussed earlier. So I am selecting Suma Party again. I am enabling this use advanced TDS entries option. I am enabling this allow alter 0 deduction option. Selecting same TDS nature of payment because confusion should not be there. So 0 rate. Certificate number I am giving. Applicable from date I am giving 1st of May. 1st of May 0%. Okay, this is done. Now I am booking the expenses in the month of May 2014. So where I am debiting my advertisement expenses ledger. So for this I am debiting the amount of rupees 40,000. So I am selecting my Suma Party ledger, and here it will ask for lower deduction and 197A 0 rated I have given. So once after selecting it, it is 0 rated. TDS deduction is not happening. So I am saving this particular. I have given the same amount because confusion will arise. Advertisement 32,000. Suma 197A. New reference. I am saving it. So already 40,000 entry is available in the computation. See, here 40,000 entry is available. 32,000 entry comes here. Okay. Now we'll go for lower rate. So for the same party itself, I am making the configuration Suma Party. For your better understanding, I am enabling this option. So alter 0 or lower exemption limit. So what I am doing is I am selecting the TDS nature of payment again. So again I can select lower deduction. I can specify some certification number. 1st June 2014. June 2014 I am giving here. So my standard TDS percentage is 1%. I am giving here 0.5%. I am saving this. So now what I am doing is I am booking the expenses in the month of June. 2nd June 2014. Booking expenses. Advertisement expenses for rupees 38,000. Payment to contractors, Suma expenses, and here you can see 0.50. This is lower deduction of TDS. 190 rupees lower deduction is happening. Now once after recording this transaction, I am checking the report. 190 rupees lower deduction. Here this information is capturing. Is this clear to all? Shall we move? Okay. And another scenario is that where I can book my expenses. So I am selecting the common expenses ledger. I am giving the amount as rupees 1 lakh. Here I am selecting payment to contractors other than advertisement as rupees 35,000. Not applicable has rupees 5,000. So commission and brokerage, multiple expenses also I can book 11,000. Interest other than interest on securities, remaining 49,000. Here I am selecting my party with fund ledger. So respectively, TDS deduction is happening. So I can select multiple TDS nature of payments here. So here not applicable. Likewise, TDS 6,700 deduction has happened. So now we are in June 1. Now on 7th of June 2014, I am making remaining payments. 7th of June 2014. Because once after finishing this particular thing, we'll go for ETDS validation. Because of that only, I'm providing complete information in this particular transactions and all. So all the payment transactions are done. Now complete payment has been done. In case if at all balance to be deducted information will come here at the normal rate, lower rate, excess deducted, and normal rate, lower rate, higher rate of PAN will fall under this particular report, excess deducted details. And payment details will be available. How much payment we made, that information will be available in this particular report. So my last payment transaction is recorded on 7th June 2014. So now we'll see what are the reports available in Tally. So from Gateway of Tally, we'll see the reporting part. From Gateway of Tally, display, statutory reports, TDS report, and I have explained you completely one by one while recording the transaction about TDS computation report. Now, it is not required explanation of TDS computation report again. So, we'll go for challan reconciliation. In challan reconciliation report, we will get the information of all payment transaction which is done, on which date on which TDS payment transaction is recorded, 7th of May, 7th of June, and bank details, and the quarter for which it is for first quarter, and the challan details, challan days, along with the bank dates, DSR code, challan information, everything are feeded here. So complete information is available in this particular thing. And we'll go for return, Form 16A, party with PAN. So here, I'm selecting Suma, and I'm selecting all items. Here, old format. In this printing form 16A report, we have given a name of responsible as Suma, Shiv Shankar, and assistant manager. Previous return, I'll show you the difference. We'll see the latest format which is there. All items I'm selecting. I'm giving the date 30th June. 7th June is my last payment entry. So type of copy default I'm giving. Okay, certification number I'm giving. And the ledger name. Place I am giving as Bangalore. So 30th June 2014. I am giving ACK my acknowledgement number and CIT details of TDS. CIT TDS of details in the sense income tax circle information will be available, and those information which you have, those you can see. So this is new format of TDS challan, and whatever acknowledgement number you have given, that will come here. Whatever amount you have, amount of deducted in respect of TDS, that will come here. So all these informations are mentioned, and how many transactions you have, how much of amount TDS is deducted, that information will display in this particular Form 16A. See, various TDS nature of payments it displays, and information is available in Form 16. So this is done. This is complete information, and certificate number which we have given as 545454, that will capture here. So this report is done. Now what I'll do is I will enable this option and I will show you the difference, because it will be useful. So if I enable previous format option, it will be based on the TDS nature of payment. So one nature I can select, I can view this particular report. So this is done. See here, this is old format of report. 194H is for this particular thing. Rent, commission or brokerage is 194H. Here it shows in the center, and this information is available. Whatever information we quoted, that brings in the report. So this is my company information, Rashmi Infotech. So under returns we have quarterly Form 26Q, which is having this information of my company, and TDS entry details. Form 26Q is a quarterly statement of deduction under Section 3 of 200 of Income Tax Act of 1961 in respect to all payment transaction other than salary, quarterly ended June and September, December and March, tick wherever it is applicable for the year. So this information is available. Annexure to 26Q is also available. If you view the Annexure to 26Q, it will show the details as this particular thing. This is a breakup of TDS, deductive wise breakup. And 27Q is for non-resident. We have not recorded any non-resident transactions. So annual Form 26 is available. Annexure to 26, annual Form 26 looks like this. Annexure to 26 looks like this. Form 27 is for non-resident. With respect to non-resident, we have not recorded any posted transactions. Because of that, it is not displaying the details. And here we will see e-returns later, and we have here outstanding reports option. If we click on outstanding, TDS payable option is there. So whatever TDS payable outstanding amount is there, 190 and 120, that details will display in this particular report. And here ledger all items. So 310 rupees of Suma is pending amount. So this is party bill wise report. And one item, there is no pending for these parties because I have recorded payment transaction. Only for Suma party there is a pending of rupees 310 rupees. So this is done. TDS payable report I explained you. Ledger is done. Nature of payment, all items, 310 rupees is pending. So whatever pending outstanding is there, that information is you will get here. TDS not deducted. In case you have recorded expenses entry and if you have not deducted the TDS, that details will be shown in this particular under this particular report, and exception reports are available. And in this under this exception report, we have various menu like PAN not available. If PAN is not available, then that particular PAN information, PAN number you can enter from this particular report. So you have a party ledger, you have selected the deductive type, but PAN is not quoted. That PAN you can quote here. Okay, unknown deductive type. In case if the deductive type is not known, and while creating the party ledger master, you might have selected the deductive type as unknown. So that unknown details will come here. Later you can group it. So migration tool is helpful only when you have Tally 9 data that you are migrating to Tally.ERP 9, and during the process of migration, in case if there is any problem of TDS migration of vouchers, bills, those details you can track here, and by viewing this particular report you can migrate the voucher, bills and masters. This migration of voucher you can do. It will display in this particular report. You will get the information of total migrated and unmigrated vouchers, and track migrate bills is having this many information: bill date, and the previous deduction, new deduction, previous payment and new payment information in this particular track TDS details. And track master, it shows the particulars: lower deduction, zero deduction, and ignore exemption limit. This information will be displayed in this particular report. So remigrate. So once after completing the process, you can remigrate it using the menu. So all the reporting levels are done. So e-return. So we have only one left out part is e-return. So now we have pending TDS bills, 320 rupees, that I will pay off now. 7th June 2014. 7th June 2014, sorry, 1st of April 2014 to 30th June. June 2014, HDFC Bank. ₹310 payment is done. Now there is nothing pending. Everything is cleared. Payment is done. So I'm making party payment. All this party pendings are cleared now. So, and I'm opening the site nsdl.com. So this is tax information network site. From here we have to download CSI Challan. CSI Challan has to be downloaded from here. Challan status inquiry. If here click here option is available. If we click on this option, we'll get the information. Okay. Due to web problem, it is not opening. And from here, downloads menu is available. Downloads, quarterly, regular. And from here, I have downloaded version 4.3. So I'm closing this particular window. It is not required now. So I have already downloaded a FEU version 4.3. So I'm copying the path, opening the Tally. From gateway of Tally, I'm going for display, statutory reports, TDS reports, e-return, which I skipped earlier. Here, e-TDS option is available. I'm pressing enter on this. And here, quarterly form 26Q. Quarterly form 26Q consists of quarterly information and has to be filed. You need Tally. From this particular window, you need to export Tally.ERP from Tally and need to validate using the NSDL department provided validation tools. And Form 27Q is for NRI. And annual Form 26 is also available and Form 27 is also available. So here what I'm doing is I'm selecting Form 26Q. Form 27, so I'm selecting Form 26Q and here I'm making the blank. Whatever path I copied, 4.3 tool path, that path I'm pasting here, Tally.EXE file I'm exporting. So once after all the information I have provided properly, so it is capturing properly. This is done. And here I'm selecting as a company. Last entry I have recorded on June. Here we have an option called Form 26, Form 26Q. Form 26 is annual, Form 26Q is quarterly, Form 27 is annual, Form 27Q is quarterly. So I'm selecting Form 26Q and mentioning the date 30th June 2014. So in case if you filed return for the previous quarter, then you need to enable this option and you need to mention the token number or receipt number which is available in your previously filed return details. So here I am making it as no and I am exporting it from Tally. This is done. Exported file is available here. So for your better understanding, I will do one thing. I will create one folder. TDS. I'll paste here. I will copy this. I will open this particular tool. Jar file I'm opening it. So here going for browse. And this ETDS file validation utility, I'm giving the part where I have text file. Selecting my text file and selecting my challan and I'm validating it. So during the process of validation, it has some error message. Because of that error displayed. So ETDS folder, HTML error file got generated. If I open this HTML file, it shows information about the error which has in this data. So it says no deduction. There is an error. Deductee, line number 22, deductee, regular statement, remarks 1, challan, records 9, deductee of salary 1, and error code and description it is showing T-FB-4245. Value in no deduction, lower deduction as B is allowed only if the section is 194, 194EE, 194A and 193. So we have selected wrong TDS nature of payment. Because of that it is giving an error message. So we can troubleshoot like this. ETDS. I'm opening the text file. And here in the text file, line number 22 is Suma Party Ledger. Suma Party Ledger 32,000 rupees expenses booking entry is available. I need to check that entry. I'm going for display debook. 32,000. because this says 194, 194EE, 194A and 194C, 193. This is 194C. This is not matching to this particular section. Because of that, it is throwing an error message. 194C I have selected wrongly, and because of that, it is showing the error message. What I'll do? 194. So here alteration will not happen. Because of that, I will delete this particular entry only. As I have deleted that particular entry, so because of that, because there is a mistake, I have selected wrong section in that. Because of that, it is throwing an error message, and otherwise details were not retaining, and because of that, I am deleting this. So now what I'll do, according to that, I have selected it. So I have deleted all the files. Again error is there because so whatever transaction I have recorded for 197 and 197A, he is having the problem. Because of that only it is giving the error message. Line number 20, line number 18. So I am copying the file path, minimize it. I am opening this 4.3 validation tool thing, opening the jar file, browse, mentioning the path, open, selecting the text file, and here CSI challan, OK, and I am validating it. So you can see here, file validation is successful, upload file, return statistics report, pan statistics report, electronic statement warning file, and Form 27A covering letter is generated in the same location. So it is not required. See, covering letter will be available here. Print Form 27A. This is the covering letter, and same information is available. This is a covering letter, and that is having the information like this, and same information is generated here as a form. See, I am opening this PDF file. It is opening. Yeah, it shows in the same manner. Here you will be having deductor and collector details, here deduction details, and here the regular amount paid, tax deducted and tax deposited. This information will be available in this particular report. So we'll go to slides. So we discussed about enabling TDS, creation of masters, transaction, quick setup, and reports also done. We have created supplier masters and expenses ledger, duty ledger, and we have recorded booking expenses entry. Deduction of TDS is done. Booking expenses and deduction of TDS in the same voucher is done. Multiple expenses booking and deduction in separate voucher in the same voucher is done. Advance payment to party is also done. TDS payment to government, we have recorded TDS payment transaction and we have checked the print preview of ITNS challan. This is also done. And I have explained about these reports, TDS reports, TDS computation report, challan report, and these Form 16, 26Q and annexures, 27Q annexures, Form 26 annual return and its annexures, and this ETDS return 26 Form 26 and Form 26Q, Form 27Q and 27, Print Form 27A. We also discussed about these TDS reports outstanding, TDS payable ledgers, TDS nature of payment, TDS not deducted, exception report, PAN not available. And any questions? We'll discuss about question and answers now. Mr. Venkata Rao is having the question. Is there any possibility for printing the challan for income tax payments in Tally? Income tax challan in the sense, Is it salary TDS? Sir, if it is Venkatarao, if it is really because you are asking with respect to income tax, so ITNS challan is applicable for TDS. Hello, is it audible to all? Okay, ITNS 281 challan is mandatory. ITNS 281. ITNS challan 281 is TDS challan. ITNS 280 is for what exactly? And it consists of which details? And one more thing, before ending the section, I would like to convey you one more thing. You can please send me the session feedback. It is for our betterment, and please share the session feedback to us. Okay, please whatever feedback you would like to share, those information will be share. Please share the feedback of the session, which will be helpful for us. With respect to today's TDS session, please share the feedback to us. So, you are asking for regular income tax payment challan. Regular income tax payment challan is different and TDS tax cum challan is different. And regular income tax payment challan will fall under under salaries. Is it correct? Is it correct, Mr. Venkatarao? Is this correct? Yeah. That will be taken care in our income tax section, not in this particular session, because this is purely related to other than salary, and you are asking for salary ETDS challan, and that will be the details you can discuss in our income tax section. We are conducting income tax session 2. So in that webinar, please clarify this particular doubt, or else if you are having the form challan format, you just attach it through mail and send it to us. We'll verify, we'll check if it is really required, and if it is really required as per statutory norms, has to be submitted to the department. In the sense, we will check for the feasibility, sir. So please take down our email ID, support@tallysolutions.com. Please send the format of challan ITNS 280 to us. We'll validate and we'll inform you what has to be done. Did I answer to your question? Any other questions? So Mr. Kamal was having a query as could you please show how advance payment shall be adjusted. So advance payment adjustment is done. Also, I have recorded advance payment transaction, deducted TDS and remitted same to department. So that transaction and for that query I have given the solution. And BVS Rao question is what would be done at the time of say a final payment if the final bill is more than the advance payment. So final bill is more than the advance payment, in the sense advance payment you will account for rupees 1 lakh and your expenses will be say suppose you are recording advance payment to party has rupees 1 lakh and you are booking the expenses for rupees 1,50,000, then you can adjust amount to the extent of 1 lakh in your booking journal entry and remaining 50,000 will be your new expenses bookings. So that portion of amount you can bifurcate and you can define in your TDS booking entry. So this is BVS Rao query is done. Ms. Pramila question is if we deduct TDS for different parties under section 194C and page, we are not able to get the bill-wise details, what to do? Where exactly you are making normal payment transactions to get bill-wise details? Or what exactly, Pramila? So Pramila is not there in the session now. She is not present now. Yeah, Mr. Ratan Kumarji, you can download the previous webinar recordings, which will be helpful to you, and you will get complete information in that. Thank you all. Thank you for the participation. And if you have any queries with respect to this TDS session, please you can raise queries now. We can discuss now, or else we'll end the session. Before ending the session, I would like to thank all the participants who attended today in the tax deduction of source TDS webinar. So thank you all. Please share the session feedback. So we'll wind up the session now. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ratan Kumarji. Please share us the session feedback. Thank you, Satyanarayan ji. Thank you. Thank you all. We'll wind up the session now. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Mr. Saraf. I hope session is useful. How to download previous sessions. We will send you the details and recording details to your email ID. No need to worry. If you want pre-recorded webinars, you will get it. Thank you. Shall we end the session now? Okay, sure. Thank you all. Thank you for the participation.